G'day viewers, it's Michael here again and welcome back to SingleRacer. And now, just before we go hot lapping this beautiful slimline Nissan Silvia on show here, a couple of people have asked me, given that I've upgraded or just recently upgraded my old Driving Force GT wheel to the newer G29, how I felt about the new wheel. And my first response to that was actual one of disappointment until I learnt a very interesting sim racing lesson over the last 2 weeks. And funnily enough, it wasn't so much about the wheel, but it was a lesson in what generally you might call muscle memory, but also in relearning the muscle memory. And that's simply because I was not only buying the new wheel in the sense of, the usual typical thing of trying to get it set up to how you like to feel the wheel within all the games you like to play, but I was also attaching it to a very simple and basic but fantastic Trac Racer Stand. It's one of their more basic stands, but I was also trying to set the stand up as well. And so what was interesting was I was trying to not only get the feel of the wheel to match or see if it would improve what I felt before, but in the first week when adjusting the stand, because there's so many options to adjust both from the foot point of view but also naturally your hands, the angle of the wheel itself. And in the second week I was kind of happy, but it just felt slightly wrong, and I made 2 simple changes to the stand itself on both the angle of the wheel and the angle of the pedals, and at the same time setting up, which I covered in my last video, setting up Assetto Corsa is my go-to game, so I was setting up the feeling of trying to get that feeling back of how it should feel, given there were slight variations. And it was literally like it just fell into place, and now I have to say it's absolutely fantastic. And a great example of that is I was initially not happy with the brake pedal, mainly because of the sheer lack of travel that the pedal has from the very start when you go to push it down to its end point, and it's very much more narrow given in comparison to my old pedal. But the thing that I couldn't get over was, and that's why I brought up the thing about it was the muscle memory of the stand. So when I did those 2 adjustments, it suddenly the stand felt fantastic and in the right place and rock solid and everything like that. But also the fact that relearning that muscle memory of then not having to worry about, my feet feel in the proper place and my arms or my hand as I turn the wheel felt right, but then also getting or resetting that muscle memory to feel like the brake is actually making me a better driver. And I do genuinely feel fast, and I've broken a couple of records already just based on that overall feeling of the 2 together. And the most interesting thing where the muscle memory really hit home was I used to, because I would just take the Logitech Driving Force GT and attach it to the desk. So I would move my keyboard on an angle and I'd have my mouse where it normally is, but I'd always race in VR. If a game has VR, then I would race in it. So it was interesting, the muscle memory, when you go to, say, you crash or something, and you go to press the escape key, and you just lean over with the headset on and automatically hit, where it is. But what happened with the stand was it pushes me further back, and it's the best example of resetting the muscle memory, where I still angled the keyboard, but the stand has, the top of the stand, and I got used to feeling the top of the stand and then knowing that the the escape key was just behind that, and also the extra reach for where the mouse was. And as soon as that, after say 2 days of driving, where that began to fall into place and everything become as one, but in a sense as one in the sense of resetting that muscle memory, now it feels absolutely fantastic, and I feel that I can continually now break records because the wheel itself, the force feedback definitely feels better, but also relearning how to apply the brake, which is even better in the sense that I don't lock up as much. The whole thing just fits perfectly now, and I'm very, very happy with the thing as a whole once I relearned that whole muscle memory layout. Now, I've got to put this in perspective. I think the stand and the wheel are terrific, but it is a G29. You know, it is your basic entry-level wheel. So keep that in mind naturally, but I do think it's a definite improvement. And where I notice it the most is coming into a corner, I feel that I can go deeper, or I have the confidence, not necessarily to go deeper because you can only go so deep into a corner, but just the trust in holding it or keeping it under control in that final bit of the corner. And also just here, and this is why I chose to do this video, is just power sliding. I just feel I generally have more control over the car because I feel, or the inputs that are sending me the messages feel more realistic and just even better than my previous wheel. So please keep in mind, I'm not a drifter. If you want to see a great drifting channel, go for Chuck's Games. He's a fantastic drifter, but I'm just throwing this around just for the fun of it, just to show off you know, that wheel aspect, just the extra bit of control that I have over the car. So it's still not good when it comes to a drifting video, but I hope you like it just the same. So this is on a new for me, that the track's probably been around for quite a while, but it's a new mod track for me, a Japanese track, and I won't try and pronounce it, but it's in the description. It looks beautiful from the external shot, so if you haven't raced it yet, it seems really good for both proper races, you know, maybe GT cars, but also a great track for drifting itself. A really good drifter would get a lot of fun out of this track. So let's head on over now. So this is Michael signing out for SingleRacer. I'll catch you next time. See you later, and let's go hot lapping.